Hi, I'm Dan Mundell with Burris Company. I'd like to talk to you about the importance of rifle scope mounting systems. A quality rifle scope is a carefully designed and meticulously constructed precision instrument. The best glass money can buy is precisely ground, polished, and accurately installed in a sophisticated, intricate configuration for one overriding purpose: to provide the clearest, brightest image possible. And in order to maintain that bright, clear sight picture, light has to pass directly through the center of these lenses. Now, if we lived in an ideal world, after you had purchased a brand new high-quality scope and mounted it to your favorite deer slayer, you would visit the range and find that your point of aim and your first bullet end up in exactly the same place. But we don't live in an ideal world. So you more than likely will have to make some adjustments in order to bring your point of aim and your point of impact together. And since you have very little influence on the direction your bullet takes once it leaves the barrel, you're left with the job of moving the scope's point of aim. You have to chase the bullet. There are a lot of possible reasons that your scope and your barrel aren't in perfect alignment. It could be the alignment between your barrel and the receiver is slightly off, or maybe the mounting holes aren't perfectly lined up. Then add some small but possibly significant imperfections in the manufacturing tolerances of the bases or the rings. Could be any of these reasons. Could be all of them. Doesn't matter. You're still going to have to chase the bullet. So you start cranking the windage and elevation knobs to change the point of aim, right? The problem is now you start shifting those precisely aligned lenses around, and now some of the image light is clipped off and some of the stray light is allowed in, thereby increasing glare. Plus, you might notice a slight shift in focus and a slight alteration of the parallax setting because the overall focal length of the lens system is slightly increased. Not only that, but by using your adjustments for alignment, you run the risk of using up the ability to adjust for windage and elevation when you really need it, in the field, or during competition, or when changing ammunition. So the ideal solution is to move not the internal lenses, but the scope itself, so that the complete scope is pointing in exactly the same direction as the gun barrel. That is precisely what the Signature Ring System from Burris allows you to do. Patented signature Pos-Align Offset Inserts can be applied in a wide variety of combinations and an infinite number of positions to correct even the most radical misalignment problems, as much as 30 inches of adjustment at 100 yards. Here's how it works. Let's say your first 3-shot group is high and to the right of your point of aim. The center of your group is 10 inches away from the bullseye at an angle 45 degrees above horizontal. So, in order to line up your scope with the gun barrel, you need to either raise the front of the scope up and to the right by precise amounts, or, to get the same effect, you can move the rear of the scope down and to the left. The Signature Pos-Align Offset Insert Kit includes 3 sets of inserts. The 5,000 set changes your point of aim by approximately 5 inches at 100 yards. The 10,000 set corrects 10 inches, and the 20,000 set corrects 20 inches at 100 yards. Since our desired correction is 10 inches, we merely place the number 10 set consisting of a plus 10 half and a minus 10 half in either the front or the rear ring. Unlike the standard 0 inserts, which are concentric, having the same thickness completely around the insert, the offset inserts consist of a relatively thick half matched with a relatively thin half. The higher the number, the greater the thickness difference between the two halves and the more correction possible. Consequently, the scope is moved in the direction of the thinner half of the inserts. This allows you to not only correct your point of aim by a specific distance, but by rotating the inserts, you can adjust the angle of correction as well. We install our number 10 inserts in the front ring so that the thin, the minus 10 portion, is pointed in the same direction as the point of impact. In this case, 45 degrees from the horizontal. Or if you prefer adjusting the rear ring, aim the -10 insert half in the opposite direction at an angle 180 degrees from the point of impact. Now shoot another group, and if it's within 3 inches of your desired point of impact, you can use your scope's internal adjustments for fine-tuning. But what if you happen to be one of the lucky chosen few and you don't have to chase the bullet? Your point of aim and point of impact are very nearly the same. Or what if you choose to forego the benefits of the offset inserts but still want the best rings for your scope? Well, in those cases, the standard 0 inserts that came with your signature rings will do you just fine, but you still get to take advantage of the other benefits of signature rings. Burris Signature Ring Inserts protect the finish of your valuable scope. Made of synthetic material slightly softer than your scope's tube, signature ring inserts won't scratch or crush your scope like solid steel conventional rings can. Signature ring inserts also grip your scope better than conventional rings. Not only are the rings wider for increased surface contact, but since the inserts pivot within the ring, they conform to the scope precisely, gripping with their entire surface area rather than only a portion as in the standard steel ring. With signature rings, the days of tedious ring lapping are over, and there's another huge advantage of signature rings over conventional steel rings. Remember all the potential opportunities for misalignment in your mounting system? Well, that could very well mean that when you tighten down your conventional rings, you put unwanted stress on your scope, trying to force the scope tube into the exact shape and direction of the ring cavities. This induced stress can really mess with your point of impact integrity, especially when extreme temperature changes cause your aluminum scope and steel firearm to expand and contract. The signature ring inserts act like a pivoting, self-centering bearing to eliminate the stress on your scope. Installing signature rings is as easy as any other rings. And signature rings with Pos-Align inserts are available for all brands of standard rotary dovetail, double dovetail, weaver style, and even for 22s. With signature rings and Pos-Align inserts from Burris, you can mount just about any scope to any firearm, keep the integrity of your point of impact, grip your scope tighter, retain the value of your scope, and get the results you're after.